About the Balls podcast
with Mark Davis, Krista Meinhardt, Luke Rule, Jake Winnikine, Alan Tomasella, and Nick the Doc Skirkle. Welcome back to another episode of All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis. That's Luke Rule. Welcome back from Thanksgiving break. It is Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. I'm not sure about you, Luke, but man, it's been a cold one out here in South Carolina for the last few days.
Yeah, it's cold up here in Tennessee too. We just got some snow. What was it, yesterday? Yeah, it snowed a little bit. Not too much. It didn't stay overnight. It was gone the next morning, but it's coming.
It's been coming. I mean, it's been 20s when I wake up here every morning. I have to put my fleece on when I walk outside. It's freezing, man. It's getting there. It's supposed to get a couple 70s, but man, it's been cold, man. It's been very cold.
Yeah, it's cold here too, which it sucks. I hate the cold. I hate having to go out and run in the cold. It's awful.
Yeah, Air Force, we don't run outside. If it's too cold, we'll run inside.
Oh. Nice.
But Luke, man, we have a big episode tonight, man. We have NFL. I know this is the last week for bye weeks. Your team, the Ravens, they're on a bye week. UCF no longer in the picture for anything, but the conference championship weekend is this weekend. So Texas, my team, is playing in the SEC championship rematch. Atlanta, obviously, playing the Vikings. Luke, how are you feeling, man? Coming into conference championship weekend, no stress for you. You're ready to talk shit to someone. You're ready to chirp. Either talking shit to me or Tim. So you can pick who you want, but you're talking shit to somebody this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Stress-free week for me. I get to chill and just enjoy some football. Talk some shit to everybody. It's nice. I don't have to watch UCF lose anymore. Even though I watched them lose pretty bad today. I mean, somehow we still got recruits without a head coach. We still got some, but I don't know. I watched us lose a bunch in the past week too. So that's tough.
I saw you guys were like the 60s. I think 66 is the last time I saw. I'm not sure what it is now for.
Yeah, I think we're mid 60s last time I looked, which is I guess not terrible for not having a head coach, and we lost a few. We had a 4-star flipped to FSU because of Gus. But
I saw Texas is number 1 at the moment in the rankings. I was a little shocked. This morning I flipped it on and I was like, damn, we're number 1. Hey, man, I'll take the number 1 recruit. And I know not Dabo, but I know Sarkisian's very aggressive during the transfer portal as well. So I expect the Longhorns to get involved in the portal. It already is opened up, but you know what I mean?
Nice bye week, much needed bye week for the Ravens. Hopefully it's a get right week so we can kind of figure out some of our issues, get ready for the postseason. It's kind of nice having this late bye compared to the rest of the team. So 4 more games and off to the playoffs.
We will talk about the Ravens because of Deontay Johnson. We're gonna talk him before we jump into picks. But yeah, that guy, he's got some issues right now, and we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about was it worth the trade? But Luke, let's start off Thursday night football. I think it's the best game of the week. I don't know about you for NFL purposes. The Green Bay Packers traveling to Detroit to face the Lions, and the Lions, they're red hot. They're on a 10-game winning streak, Luke. They are 11-1, and the Packers are sitting there a couple games behind. They have a shot to win the division. I think you lose this game, obviously, they are not going to win the division. They are 9-3. So, Luke, what do the Packers need to do to go into Detroit, pull off the upset against the red hot Lions?
I mean, we've seen it over the past few weeks. The Detroit Lions just keep losing defensive players and still keep playing well. But I think it's going to catch up with them here shortly. That the big losses on defense are going to really catch up to them. And I think all Green Bay really has to do is control the ball. Jordan Love can't be throwing another pick or picks this week.
Can't do that.
Yeah, limit, keep Jared Goff and those 2 running backs on the sideline for as long as possible. And that's the key for Green Bay to win this game is keep the Lions offense off the field.
I said when my cousin Dylan was in here when they played the Niners. This was before we knew Brock Purdy was hurt. I said to beat the Niners, dude, same thing you're saying. Josh Jacobs needs to be the most important player for the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. Let him run the ball. Let him control the clock. Do not give, like you said, Jordan Love cannot give the Detroit Lions more drives with interceptions and or fumbles. Because if you give the Lions opportunities, Luke, we know what they've done all year. They're going to take advantage. They're going to score points, and it's going to be hard to beat them. Now, the defense, that's a big loss. They lost Rodriguez. this week as well. It seems like they've only got like 2 or 3 guys from their starting lineup week 1 in there currently. They did sign Quan Alexander and Jamal Adams. I'm not sure if they're going to play this weekend at all or Thursday against the Lions.
They
or
do
the
probably
Packers.
a minimum amount. Like they're not going to play too much.
The defense is still playing good ball, though. That's the weird thing is no matter with all these injuries, they're still a top 10 defense. I don't get how they are. I mean, and maybe that's good. Maybe that's just a shout out to Aaron Glenn, right? Aaron Glenn, the defense coordinator, who's getting a lot of hate the last couple of years. He seems to turn the team around on the defensive side. So
yeah, I mean, we all going into the season, we thought the defense would be the weak part of the Lions team. This too. I mean, they got some young corners, young DBs back there, but that front is just taking a beating, losing Rodrigo and Hutch. So
yeah, I mean, they sub Brian Branch, so that's good news there. Keep him playing. I think Arnold's banged up a little bit. Like Kirby Joseph's back there. He's leading the league. The 2 leading lead interceptions guys, Kirby Joseph and Xavier McKinney, both playing each other. And the Lions did go into Green Bay a few weeks ago, and they did beat them 24-14. So it is a rematch. I just don't know, Luke, how the Packers are going to control. I know they only held them 24, but that was in Green Bay. This time in Detroit. The atmosphere is going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. Both of them have a week off, too. They both played Thanksgiving, so it's been exactly a week for them. So no short week. I think the Lions offense is going to just run wild. I don't know if the Packers are going to be able to keep up. I think, like you said, Jordan Love's going to try and do too much. He's going to get too cute, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see it. I mean, the Lions just kind of look like they're steamrolling teams for the most part right now. They scraped by a couple close ones, too. But
the Bears was a close game. The Texans a couple weeks ago, there was a close game in early November. I mean, but it's hard to beat them. I mean, me and Doc were talking yesterday. Who's the best team?
They're winning games.
That's the key. Key is wins and losses, right? What do you have more of? And they have 11 wins to 1 loss. So, and me and Doc argued yesterday who's better between them and the Eagles. And I'm still sticking. I think that they are the better team than the Eagles. Like, get on paper, maybe Philly, but on the field, I say Detroit. Like what I see with that offense, the defense is playing good. The special teams is very good. They have probably one of the best kickers in football too. Bates is playing great.
I think Boswell is the top kicker right now.
Oh, he's up there. He's up there.
He's drilling them.
Ravens could use him.
I don't know. Tucker's got to figure it out. I don't know. He's on the yips right now.
Harbaugh said we're not gonna release him yet, and I was like, "Whoa, that's not." You said yet, like, or this year. I mean, he said this year. That's a sign that next year.
He also said he was not opposed to bringing in a kicker, but he said he hasn't seen anybody that's a free agent that he thinks is better than Tucker.
Well, like Pat McAfee said, if they're that good, they'd already be on a team right now, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying Tucker is like great at this. I mean, he's having a bad year, like you said. He's missed 10 kicks in general, 8 field goals, 2 extra points. So it's definitely his worst season of his professional career, probably his career in general.
But, there's a real easy way to get that monkey off your back, and it's hit a game winner here somewhere before the playoffs and get that monkey off his back.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets it figured out.
Yeah, no disrespect, Nelson. We love. I mean, Luke doesn't love Boswell personally because but Luke respects.
Beat us with field goals.
Yeah, Luke definitely respects Chris Boswell. He's one of those guys that he's pretty consistent. He's one of the best kickers in Pittsburgh. Obviously, tough place to play in. He's one of the best kickers on the road in general. He knows how to play ball. And Luke, speaking of playing ball, this game though on Amazon Prime, I think it's the best Amazon Prime game too. Well, before they play, I think of all year, the Packers and the Lions here. It's going to be special to see these two teams match up because I think, like I said, Green Bay is more desperate to win this game. If they want to win the division, they have to win this game. You can't go down 3 games with 4 games left. They need to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is great Thursday night football we're going to watch right before the college football championship games. So, great way to kick off the football week with a good matchup. I think Prime's got it right this year. Pretty much
they've had some games,
most of the Thursday night games have been pretty good. So
they've had a handful of good games. Falcons were on a very good game against the Bucs week 5. That was a good one. It went to overtime.
You guys won that one?
I mean, it was a good game. I mean, even if we lost, it was still a good game. Like for Amazon Prime,
that was a 500-yard passing game, right? for
It wasn't
Kirk.
like that Kirk broke Matt Ryan's record by a few yards, and
Yeah, that was a pretty good game. It was pretty back and forth the whole game.
yeah.
But you better watch out. The Bucks are coming. They're coming for the division.
We're going to talk about the Falcons in a couple games here. Because we have the tiebreaker, but we'll talk about that. Luke, let's talk Sunday Night Football. The Los Angeles Chargers, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, these teams did play each other early in the season in Los Angeles, where the Chiefs did win 17-10. If you don't remember, or if you don't recall, that was the game Rashee Rice got hurt, by the way. And Pacheco, I don't believe, was playing yet neither. So now fast forward, Pacheco's back. DeAndre Hopkins is involved on the team now. What do you expect from this game? What do you expect from the Chargers with Herbert and the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a pretty low scoring game for the most part. Both top defenses in the NFL. I mean, both defenses have been balling this whole year. Chargers will have Derwin James's game, so Travis Kelce beware. He might get body slammed.
Hey, Noah Gray's the tight end one now, it looks like.
Yeah, pretty much. But then I think the defenses are going to control this game for the most part. Kind of sucks that J.K. Dobbins is out. Kind of big loss for the Chargers offense just because he's been balling pretty much all year. And I don't think Gus or Vidal can really match what J.K. was doing. So
it does suck for the Chargers because J.K., I mean, I know J.K. came down to earth a little bit, but he still was playing pretty good. I know he kind of...
Yeah, I think he was getting like 5 yards a carry on average for the most part. So, I mean, he for coming off injury, he's had a great season.
Yeah, he's doing good. Luke, I just want to see how Herbert in this young offense is going to deal with being in Kansas City, one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. A tough atmosphere to play, honestly, and Sunday Night Football. This is going to be... It's
going to be chilly, too.
You've been there. You've been to Kansas City.
There.
You've been to Arrowhead, so you know how the atmosphere is there. And those
it's great.
The Texans...
I watched them lose there.
They did lose. That was a good game by Deshaun Watson at the time. Yeah. And the Texans with DeAndre Hopkins, too. J.J. Watt. Yeah, I love that guy. But, yeah, Luke, I'm going to be interested to see how this offense does against the Chiefs' defense in Kansas City. I want to see, hey, Lad McConkey's been one of the hottest wide receivers in football. Can he keep that streak going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, this could be an upset game for the KC. Take a big loss at home, which I'd love to see it.
T Swizzle will be there, probably. This is going to be a Taylor Swift game.
I would assume she's there. Sunday Night Football.
It's one of those matchups, like you said. Like I know all y'all's picks, so I know who's feeling feisty with upset and who's not. And it's a very interesting game. I mean, how does the offense for the Chiefs look too? Because like I said, when they played them, they only scored 17 points, but that was the game Rice got hurt. And Worthy's kind of got involved a lot more lately too, not just DeAndre Hopkins. Noah Gray's been involving as the tight end too, but been more used. I think he's been used as the tight end one, honestly. And then Pacheco's back, and Pacheco got the rust off a little bit. Now we're going to see Pacheco with a full game back. I think this might be a Pacheco game. A welcome back to the league for Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he's feeling. Maybe he wasn't last week. He's kind of let down for fantasy managers a little bit. Only 5 points. Yeah. Having him come back, but we'll see if he's can be able to get it going against this Chargers defense too. This Chargers defense has been balling out. I don't know what. Harbaugh's got these boys fired up from last year because it's pretty much the same defense as last year.
Yeah, it really is.
Mostly the same players. Maybe a couple of you young guys in there.
Sometimes you just need that coordinator. That's all. Like, what is Mentor? I think it is. I think it is Mentor.
Yeah, well, they got the boys fired up. I mean, this is one of the worst defenses last year with all these big names on it, and now
one of the best.
Now they're showing up. Yeah. So
another thing too. It's Mahomes too. Mahomes has been he's not been turning the ball over the last month or so. He's been kind of clean with the ball. And by the way, this is December, which we know December is when the Chiefs turn it around. And it's crazy to say the Chiefs 11-1 needs to turn it around. Obviously, a lot of close games. I think they've only blown one team out this year, and that was the Saints. So, I mean, but this is the time of the year, like I've said, the Kansas City Chiefs normally hit that on switch, and they don't look back.
Yeah, I mean, this is when they start playing their best is December, January, and February.
Yeah, I mean, and the Chiefs, I believe, clinched the division with a win too.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume they're going to win the division at this point.
But I was telling Doc last night is the Chiefs still play the Chargers, the Broncos, the Steelers, the Texans. They play 4 playoff teams, and then they do play the Browns. So like 4 out of 5 teams, they play playoff teams. Now, I'm not a big Texans fan this year. They've come back to earth. They're in a weak division. So, but I think the Steelers can beat them in Kansas or in Pittsburgh on Christmas. The Chiefs and Broncos, they played them tough the first 2 times. So you never know. I mean, Chiefs really are going to be tested this month, in my opinion.
Pittsburgh showed they have an offense too this last week.
Russ Wilson was cooking.
Yeah, they let Russ cook.
He was unlimited. He was definitely Mr. Unlimited that game.
It was great watching it on Hard Knocks. I mean, the preparation that the Bengals and Steelers both had, they just kept flip flopping back and forth between them.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. And both coaches are pretty much saying the same thing.
Oh, well, and I saw clips. I haven't watched them. I'll watch it tonight after we get off here. They definitely know each other. Just like Pittsburgh and Cincinnati both said. I saw a clip of that. We know each other. We know that Joe Burrow's going to throw for yards, and they know what the Steelers can do on their side of the ball, too. And it was the same thing they said. Obviously, the Bengals took the loss. The Steelers defense did get a couple scores there, so big turnovers.
Yeah, this episode is pretty Pittsburgh heavy for the most part. Mainly because like two of the teams were playing each other, so it was Bengals Steelers. They showed for the most part. It showed a little Ravens, and they showed a little bit of the Browns, but they didn't. The Browns played on Monday, so they didn't really have their game in there yet.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, and it's also going to be interesting how they do it because are they going to continue Hard Knocks through the playoffs when they're there? Because they said when the Colts were they're going to end it until they're done. So do they do the same thing? The Cardinals obviously didn't make the playoffs when they did the Cardinals. So you have 2 playoff teams in the AFC North.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'd be cool if they can keep them going, especially like we match up against each other in the playoffs or something like that.
That'd be a fun episode.
Yeah.
That'd be a good episode. Luke, we mentioned the Cardinals. The Seahawks and Cardinals, sneaky game of the week. You know, the Seahawks did take care of business in the Pacific Northwest a few weeks ago. This is the second time in 3 games that they play each other. Big game. The Seahawks are a game up on everyone in the division, 2 games over the 49ers, but a game up on the Rams and the Cardinals. They win this game, and let's say the Bills beat the Rams. The Seahawks are up at least 2 games on the division. Is there going to be a different scenario this time? Do they go in the desert with a different result than they did last time?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The Cardinals have been hot like the past, this whole season. Like they played a lot better than pretty much everybody else thought they would. Kyler Murray, since Call of Duty came out, he's been cooking.
He's been playing good.
Yeah, this is the Cardinals team's a feisty team. In Seattle, Seattle just seemed like they're winning games, but they've just seemed pretty flat overall to me. Like they're just playing good football. I mean, nothing really exciting. Playing solid defense, solid offense, but it's nothing flashy, nothing crazy. But I mean, that's probably what you get with a Mike McDonald offense and defense. Pretty flat, nothing crazy.
Seahawks did avoid an upset against the Jets. The Jets were beating them most of the game too, most of the game. So. And the Cardinals should have beat the Vikings. Another one too. They blew their game. They were up on the Vikings. I mean, like pretty much the whole game, and then the fourth quarter hit, and it just seemed like Sam Darnold and the defense too for the Vikings just really turned it around. But like you said, Kyler Murray's playing good. I feel like this is going to be a James Conner game. He's been kind of quiet the last couple of weeks. I think James Conner is going to be heavily involved, and I think to beat the Seahawks, they're going to have to run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, this Seattle defense is pretty good. It's not quite the Legion of Boom, but they got a good scheme going on with their defense. I mean,
good coach.
Yeah, I mean, I wish he would have stayed with the Ravens.
It was time for him to move on, obviously.
I wish he could have been. He could have hung out defense coordinator for a couple more years and taken over for Harbaugh. That'd been great. But
I don't know if Harbaugh's ever leaving. It seems like he's there for life.
Well, yeah, I don't think he'll leave on his own terms anytime soon.
No.
You get Hard Knocks. You get a nice little view of the castle during once they start looking at the Ravens. Their Ravens facility is just beautiful.
I feel like a lot of these facilities, once you start upgrading and all that, I mean, the Ravens obviously.
Yeah, you'll see the massive difference in facilities.
I have to look at
it. Because the Ravens facility literally looks like a fucking castle.
Okay, I'll have to look at
cool.
it. I mean, Luke, though, back to this game, I think James Conner, Kyler Murray too. He had a good game against the Seahawks, but they couldn't score touchdowns. I mean, he had 1 interception, but still 24-37 the first game for 285. That's not a bad game. If you tell me Kyler Murray was 24-37 for 285, I'm expecting maybe some touchdowns in there, but I'm expecting the Cardinals to win. That's a pretty good game. Like Connor was really irrelevant that game. They didn't use him at all. the Seahawks, like you said, they're one of those teams. They're playing like they're winning games, but they don't seem like they're dominant. They're just winning. Like they're like, but hey, that's like you said, wins and losses. That's important. I just feel like this team is beatable out there in the desert.
Yeah, I mean, NFL is a tough league to win in. Like, so every win matters. Any given Sunday you can lose, right?
Yeah, it's a hard game to win in. I mean, it's true. Any team can win.
Yeah, every team's got professionals on it. So
it doesn't matter if you're the Jaguars can come out this weekend and beat the Lions. Not saying they're going to, but hey, you never know. 9 times out of 10, they're going to lose. But that one time, they might catch them on a bad game.
Yeah, it's not like college football where there's some games that are gimmies.
Well, yeah, where you're expecting teams to because like you said, they're all professionals. You know, they're all good. Obviously, we say these guys suck, but yeah, they're obviously good players. They're in the NFL. They're one of 32. One of starters, depending on what position you are. Like one of 2 stars on a professional team. If you're a receiver, if you're a running back, you're one of the running backs. Quarterback, there's only 32 of them. So,
yeah. So I mean,
but no, I can't wait to watch this. This is the good late game, in my opinion. One of the 4:00 games. There's only 3 of them this week. This Bills. Well, I think Bears and Niners will be exciting because obviously Doc versus Jake.
Yeah, I mean, not really too exciting to watch. I just watch the chats.
Yes, because both guys have given up. Like Doc's given up on the Bears for this year. Jake has given up on the Niners as well. He doesn't think that they're good. He says his whole division sucks. He says the NFC West is trash. I don't know if they're trash, but yeah, they're not that good this year like normally.
I've been seeing some rumors that the Bears should try to trade for Shanny.
Oh, I haven't seen that one at all.
Yeah,
I agree with Riz. Look at this one. It says Doc will be napping. Yeah, he'll probably be napping by 4:00. Riz, that's actually a good point there.
Yeah, as soon as the Bears game come on, he's taking a nap.
Riz, let's keep you in here for a minute because the next game we're going to talk about is the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings. That's Riz's team. That's my team. The Falcons on a 3-game losing streak, Luke. And I wouldn't say this is a revenge game. I would say this is a reunion game. I don't think there's no hate towards the Vikings for Kirk Cousins. The Vikings don't hate Kirk Cousins neither. What do the Falcons need to do here? Like you said, they're tied with Tampa Bay. We have the tiebreaker, so that's good. We need to be tied at the worst case to get the division. What do the Atlanta Falcons need to do here to turn the season back around and go back in the right direction towards a playoff appearance?
Yeah, I mean, limit the turnovers from Kirk Cousins. I mean, that was the biggest downfall last week. Is I don't know what Kirk Cousins is doing. He looked like he was just kind of throwing and praying last week. So limit the turnovers, then your defense is going to really have to step up against these 2 talented wide receivers, and they got a decent running game too.
Tight end's a beast too. I think Hawkins is getting better and better each week.
I mean, I think the Falcons defense has been fairly soft most of the season. So I mean, this is gonna be a game that they're really gonna have to tighten up on these wide receivers because we all know what Justin Jefferson can do. That ball's close to him. He's most likely going to catch it.
We played good against the Chargers, but obviously the Chargers offense is not in the same boat to me as the Vikings. Yeah, I get it. We're not big Sam Darnold believers, but Darnold's playing pretty good for the most part of the year. I agree with what Riz is saying. Kirk probably might be in hell this week. You know, the Vikings defense is good, and Kirk just doesn't look comfortable. Like you said, the passes he's had, it's up there. Not just Kevin O'Connell knows the weaknesses of Kirk Cousins, but Brian Flores got to play against Kirk last year a little bit in practice. You know, he was a defense coordinator last year too, so he knows him. But Kirk knows the scheme of Brian Flores as well, so it kind of goes together. Kirk just has to open his eyes and stop throwing the ball with his eyes shut because I feel like that's what he's doing. Like the pass he had in the end zone where 4 guys were in there and he just kind of like lofted it like he could have had Bijan underneath for 4 or 5 yards. He could have ran it for 3 or 4 yards and made 4th down shorter. We've seen him play good this year, and we've seen him play bad. And when he's playing bad, Luke, we don't have a chance. He's 6 interceptions in the last 3 games with no touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a tough stat right there. I mean, I think if Kirk comes out here and has another bad game, it's going to get really loud about putting Penix in.
I said in the chat, I don't think he gets benched this year. I thought the conversation could have started, but obviously Raheem Morris shut that down quick. He said, we're not making the change. I think 2025 is going to be definitely the hot season for Kirk Cousins because I think after year 2, you can get him out, eat a little bit of dead cap. It's only a few million.
Well, I've been seeing rumors that you guys should trade Kirk this offseason too.
I mean, Jake mentioned that. I don't know if he gets benched during the game, Riz, because I just think that with all the money they're tied into him, they have to show faith and confidence in him. It just also depends on how the game's going, too. If Kirk's throwing pick after pick after pick, okay, maybe. If it's a close game and he's struggling, then they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Luke, back to that comment that you made. Jake mentioned that, too. Jake mentioned Kirk being traded if someone could take that contract. The question is who's going to take it? Would the Jets take it if Aaron Rodgers leaves?
Or maybe the Giants? Maybe if they don't get their guy in the first round.
But they're going to be a top. I feel like they're going to get the quarterback because they're top. I feel like they're going to be a top 3 pick. They're getting quarterback.
Maybe they don't like any of the quarterbacks though.
That's
maybe
true.
They just want a bridge guy. Yeah, I mean, there's no telling what the Giants are going to do. I mean, they fucked it up all last season too, so they'll probably go around and fuck it up again this season.
Bridge guy, wait for Arch to come out.
Yeah, I mean, they could be waiting for Arch. I mean, take Kirk Cousins as a bridge quarterback. I wouldn't take a bridge quarterback from waiting for Arch. I'd just tank that season too.
Rich just said that Kirk has a no trade clause. If he does, then obviously, I didn't see that because I didn't really think him being traded was ever an option. So, I didn't think that. That one I don't know, Luke, if he's got no trade clause at all.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just know you guys have to pay him for at least one more year guaranteed.
Yeah, he does have a no trade clause. So, yeah, it's going to be up to Kirk if he wins to waive that trade. And if I'm him, I'm not, because the Falcons, we have talent. Like, it's not – the talent isn't the issue. Drake London and Darnell Mooney, they're playing good. Kyle Pitts, I feel like, can play good. I just don't think they're using – I don't think they're utilizing him. And Bijan's playing great. You have him in fantasy. Bijan's playing phenomenal this year. He's a really good running back. It's not the receivers, not the running back. It's the quarterback this year, and that's going to be our downfall. But, Luke, we have to win this game. This is a big game against the Vikings. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, especially Tampa creeping up right behind you. I mean, they're playing the Raiders this week, so
easy schedule they have.
I would expect it pissed off Tampa from them having to go down the wire last week to win.
Yeah.
So I would expect it pissed off Baker. So hopefully he gets the boys fired up, and I think the Raiders are the Raiders. Maybe they can. They're just trying to upset teams at this point.
Yeah, they came close against the Chiefs, but I mean, the Bucs are, like you said, they're probably pissed off after that close game against Panthers.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the Bucs go out here and light up the Vikings defense. Plus, the Bucs are playing at home. It's a long flight for the Vegas team to come down.
Very long flight,
Tampa.
Yeah. But yeah, Luke, that's going to be a game that I have all eyes on at 1:00, of course. And real quick before we do picks, your receiver Deontay Johnson, who y'all traded for this year, will be suspended the first game off the bye week because he refused to play a single snap against the Philadelphia Eagles. What is going on with your wide receiver that y'all traded for this year?
The Ravens didn't really say too much about the situation besides that Eric Costa said that he refused to go in the game. I would assume he's upset with his role in the Ravens offense, where he's been the wide receiver number 4. He's only even the games he has played, I think he's played 15 snaps at most in any of them. Most of the games have been either 10 snaps or 5 snaps. And last week, obviously 0. I think he's upset, but I mean, what does the Ravens do? Every time Lamar throws him the ball, he falls. I mean, it's like every time. He's got like 2 catches on I think he's been targeted at least 10 times. He's got like 2 catches. Like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, you're not going to be the top wide receiver if you can't catch the ball.
They've tried throwing him the ball, definitely. Like, I've seen, because obviously, all eyes are on him, and it feels like I feel like he's lost a step there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, Flowers and Bateman have been both playing pretty well the past few weeks. I mean, Bateman got hurt last week. His knee was sore. Nothing major, but Flowers, I mean, obviously, he's turning out to be a wide receiver 1. And in the NFL overall, I mean, I think he's 4th in receiving yards this season. So I mean,
he's playing good.
Yeah, he's shifty. I mean, shifty.
He's quick.
Guy.
Yeah, he's quick, dude.
You get him in space, and he might house it.
I just don't want. I mean, I don't want. I mean, the Ravens don't want like this to blow up even more. They're like, you don't want this guy to come in the middle of the season. You guys made a move because you thought you needed an additional receiver for Lamar Jackson to help out with the other receivers. And he's becoming a problem, it seems like. And I guess he's been a problem. He was a problem in Pittsburgh, Carolina. It's just this could be very bad for the Ravens too. You don't want him to ruin the chemistry to make things worse for your offense. You guys are losing games. You lost a couple of the last few weeks, so you don't want to add on top of that with a drama player neither. That's not very good
and
for a team.
I think the suspension is trying to like kind of nip it in the butt right up front. Like, hey, like that shit don't fly here. That's kind of what I think. John Harbaugh and Eric Kosser have kind of like talked about. Is like, hey, we're not going to let this shit fly. Like it's not like we invested that much. We didn't invest like really any money or draft capital. I think we gave up a 6th-round pick for him or something like that.
It was nothing really too crazy.
Yeah, and I think if we lose him, we get a compensatory pick. So it's not like it is what it is. Like it's not a big deal. So it's not like we invested too much in him, but he had potential to win himself a contract with the Ravens too. But if this is how he wants to be, and just fuck it, just let him ride off in the sunset.
Yeah, Brendan, we were just talking about Justin Tucker earlier. Luke's a Ravens fan, and he said like he's pretty much just hit kind of like he's got the yips a little bit. He's kind of hit that kicker's wall a little bit, and his kicking's like golf. Once you lose that confidence, it's hard to get it back. We've seen it with kickers, we've seen it with golfers. Luke, it is unfortunate because how great Justin Tucker's been. I mean, he's been a dog since his rookie season. You guys lost the year before the rookie season to the Patriots because of kicker. And then you get Justin Tucker, and he's kicking your way through the playoffs, kicked the game-winning field goal against the Broncos, and the rest is the history of Justin Tucker, one of the best kickers of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what it is. I mean, obviously, he still has the leg. I mean, most of them, he's all but one he's missed to the left. So I think he's just too much in his head at this point. I mean, he just got to, like, forget about it. I think you could tell, like, he just doesn't look, like, confident anytime he walks up there anymore.
He's thinking too much, I think. I think he's in his head already.
Yeah, it's in his head. I mean, obviously, I'm sure he feels terrible about it. I mean, we could probably be almost undefeated if he made all of his kicks. Obviously, kicker's not going to make every kick. But if he made majority of those kicks, we'd only have like 2 losses.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles game too, because like you guys were up 9-0, and if let's say you make some of these kicks, the confidence is there for you guys. You guys have more points and whatnot. The Steelers game too, I know he missed kicks there. It's unfortunate to see, a legend and former Longhorn too, which I do like. I do like Tucker historically. I know we give him shit because he's on your team, but it does suck to see Justin Tucker start to kind of lose it a little bit.
I mean, we got a few more weeks. Hopefully we can line him up for a game winner from like 50 plus, and if he drills it, maybe gets that monkey off his back. But we'll see. I mean, if not, I mean, we'll be open. We'll be looking for a new kicker.
Tryouts in the Baltimore area if y'all are there next year.
Been a long time since we had tryouts for kicker.
Yeah, it's been huge.
He was an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, undrafted free agent of Texas. He was a Longhorn. Hey, He was the kicker that made the last win before this year in the Lone Star Showdown. And then obviously Texas is back against A&M, and we showed them who Big Brother is and what we do. But Tucker was the legend before the rivalry got renewed. So I love Tucker. I love Tucker, man. I've always loved him. He's starting to fade a little bit, but hopefully for your sake, he gets that.
Hopefully he gets it figured out. I mean, obviously John Harbaugh and Lamar both trust him still. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, Luke, you ready?
I mean, partially on the offense because like we gotta finish some of those drives off too. Like,
yeah, I agree there. You do.
Yeah, we can't be stalling out at like the 40-yard line and making Tucker kick all these 50-plus field goals too. I mean, obviously 50-plus. I mean, everybody thinks it's automatic, but there's been a lot of teams having kicking struggles this season too. Like,
yeah,
Panthers being one of them.
Falcons with Coop. Panthers missed a couple kicks against the Bucs that they would have won the game before overtime.
The Bengals. I mean, they lost some games because of kicking.
Yeah,
McPherson's like the highest paid kicker in the NFL right now too.
Aubrey missed a couple too this year.
Yeah, so I mean, I think kicking's been down overall this season.
Remember once the NFL said we might change the kicking stuff, kickers started missing. They just started missing.
You're like, oh no, like we're good here.
Yeah, and by the way, when I went to that Bucs Falcons game, like on TV, the post looks like super wide. Man, I'm telling you, when you're down there, those posts do not look that wide. They look smaller. They look smaller in person.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, plus, like you actually see how far like those 50+ kicks are. Like they're far away.
Yeah, they are. I agree, they are. You kick it sometimes a little lower with the wind, easy to get blocked. But Luke, are you ready for some picks, man?
Yeah.
So
see what everybody's got this week.
yeah, it's been a little while. Obviously, we were off Thanksgiving. Oops. Oops. Sorry, fucked up there. So yeah, we're off Thanksgiving, Luke. So let's see if this comes through. It's been a while, right? So here we go. Yeah, here we go. So week 13, Luke, myself and Chris and Doc went 14-2. You went 13-3. Great week. Yeah. Jake went 12-4. Alan went 11-5 against the spread. Not as great, 11-5 for Chris, myself and Doc 10-6. You and Jake 8-8, and Alan 7-9. Luke, I was telling Doc last night too before we got on the show, and Pick'em's on the app. There's 4 guys that had a perfect week. Imagine being one of those 3 guys that gets a perfect week and you don't win. That's crazy. I would be pissed if that was me. But Luke,
Tim,
for the season
said he forgot to put his points in.
Yeah, he didn't tell me what his points would have been. I would really actually like to know. I texted him, say, hey man, you forgot your points, and he said, yeah, I know. It's a low scoring game he would have won, but obviously opposite of that. Jameis threw for 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, and 600 passing yards.
Yeah, so but this is the records, Luke, for the year. I've caught Doc pretty much. I'm 1 behind Doc. Jake's fallen off. Chris has come back. Chris is right behind you with 1 behind, and then Alan. Yeah, Chris has come back in spreads too. But against the spread, me and Jake are tied for second. Doc's in first, and you, Luke, and Alan are competing for third place. It looks like.
Damn.
Yeah, Chris has come back to earth. He's come back to life. But Luke, let's start Thursday night football. The Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Detroit is 2.5-point favorites.
Yep. I mean, this one's pretty simple here. I think Jordan Love's going to make that big mistake. He's going to throw a pick. Then that Lions offense is going to be too much for the Packers defense. So, and they're at home. It's going to be loud. And, perfect weather conditions because they're in a dome. So, I got the Lions. Easy. Should be a good game, though.
Oh, great game. Do I need to say anything? I mean, I picked Detroit every single week. And
Detroit fanboy.
Unfortunately, in 2 weeks, I'm going to have to pick them against my other fanboy team, the Buffalo Bills. It's going to be a sad day for me to pick against Joshy Poo. But I think the Packers are a good team. I still think they're a little overrated. I'm not a big fan of Green Bay. Yeah, they have Josh Jacobs. He's playing great. But like you said, Jordan Love, he needs to show me consistency of not turning the ball over as much. I get it. He's a gunslinger. And, I've given Josh Allen passes and all that. But I believe that Josh Allen's difference between the Bills and Jordan Love is, I believe Josh Allen was won more games because of the greatness he was doing with the turnovers. Jordan Love has yet to show me that. The running game is phenomenal, and the defense plays good. But like you said, Luke, Detroit's a great team, and they're in Detroit. The atmosphere is going to be wild. I'm going to Detroit. Allen, though, shout out to him, man. He's the only one choosing the Packers. So,
risky move.
It is a risky move, and it's not a short week, like I said. So both teams don't have that excuse of playing on Thursday this week. Back-to-back Thursday night games for these 2 teams. So here we go, Luke. Atlanta and Minnesota in Minneapolis and Minnesota. The Vikings are 5.5-point favorites against Kirk Cousins. It is a reunion game.
Yeah, I mean, I think this Vikings team, like, too much offensive firepower, and that Brian Flores defense is just going to overwhelm the Falcons offense. I mean, I think they're going to come at Kirk. I mean, they obviously know Kirk very well, and I think the Vikings offense is going to be too much for the Falcons defense. Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison are going to be they're going to be cooking. Then obviously the Vikings can run the ball as well, and Hawkinson's a elite tight end.
Yeah.
So
don't be fooled. If you give me $100 and said pick the team, my brain will say Vikings. This is strictly a heart decision here. I will tell you the Vikings are going to win this game, but when it comes to the records here and it comes to what we're doing, I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to let my heart make the decision here. I believe this is the game we get right. This is the game that turns us around. We do have 2 easy games coming up with the Giants and Vikings, or the Giants and Raiders. Sorry. we get back on track. Kirk shows that he can play football. He goes back in Minnesota and he shows them that walk in your trap, take over your trap, and that used to be his trap, and he's going to take it back over once again. I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons here.
Yeah, I mean, this game might be a sneaky good game depending on how Kirk and Sam Darnold both play. Yeah,
which Kirk shows up. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, either Kirk's pretty exciting.
Well, it's exciting for you because you're either going to watch a great game or you're going to be ready to say, "Yeah, Kirk sucks." Put penis in.
Put penis in.
Yeah, put penis in. But no, it's going to be a stressful game, Luke. I'm having a stressful weekend in general. We'll talk about the other half later. But hey, the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers, Luke, it's a rematch. Remember Thursday night a few weeks ago in Cleveland, it was 24-19. This time the Steelers are 6.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Steelers learned from their mistakes last time. I mean, it was snowing, so crazy game. This game is also going to be pretty cold. Probably won't be snowing. I don't think. I don't think it's going to be snowing this time. But I think the Steelers have shown they got some offense this last week against the Bengals. I think they get it right against this time against the Browns. But you never know. You got Jameis Winston throwing the ball, so you don't know where it's going.
You don't know who's catching it either.
Yeah, somebody's going to catch it.
Oh, it's gonna get caught, and it's gonna be exciting. And the pregame speech is gonna be great, and all the hoorah and all that. That's fun.
It's gonna be a great one for Hard Knocks too.
It will be great. Hard Knocks will have a Jameis Winston speech on there somewhere.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Luke. Steelers have learned from the mistakes, and I think Pittsburgh historically has owned Cleveland in their own stadium. So I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. I think it's gonna be close. I think that Cleveland will cover the spread. I just think too much offense. I think I know Russell had a bad game against them. Like you said, it was snowing then. And I think that the run game is looking good. Najee and Jalen Warren, they're playing good. And the defense is the defense. I mean, come on. They have arguably the best defense in football. I'm going to go the Steelers. And Luke said to Doc, I think the Steelers win this division. Me and Chris said it a few weeks ago, and I think it's going to hold true. I think the Steelers end up winning this division.
Yeah, I think it's really going to come down to when the Steelers play the Ravens again, with who actually wins it. I mean, Steelers got to come to Baltimore and play us, so hopefully we can get right.
You need them to also lose one more game additionally as well. Probably the Chiefs would be a good option to do it.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's anybody's division still. I mean, we're a game behind or a game and a half behind.
Well, if they win this, I think it's 2 games.
Yeah, something like that.
So let's go. You're rooting for the Brownies. You are, you are rooting for the Brownies. You would love a sweep this year for the Brownies.
I'd love to watch Jameis fucking ball out again.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be a close game, though. Honestly, it's gonna be a fun game to probably watch too.
Yeah,
Luca, or 2 teams that had expectations this year: the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins in South Beach, and the Dolphins are 5.5-point favorites against the New York Football Jets.
Yeah, this will be a pretty boring game, I think, actually. There's nothing really interesting about it. Like, the Aaron Rodgers hype is over. No, like, nobody cares about what he does anymore. I don't even think he's going to be with the team next season. I know he's on Pat's show talking about how he remodeled his house. So he wants to be there for a few more years. But new GM, new coaching staff, I don't know if they're going to want Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I mean, it's just too much. I'd go get a new quarterback, even if it's a bridge quarterback. But Miami's starting to get it figured out on offense. So I think their offense is a little bit better than the Jets' offense, so they get it done.
Miami's still playing for the playoffs. They have a shot to still make the playoffs. I know it. Like, I think they're 5. They're 5-7. So a win here gets them to 6-7. You win out, you're 10-7. You never know, but it has to start here. It has to start now. Like you said, Luke, the Dolphins are a better team, in my opinion, on offense, and I believe defense too. Defensively, the Dolphins aren't really that bad. So I'm going to go the Miami Dolphins here. I believe, like you, I think the Jets cover the spread, but I'm going to go Miami when it's all said and done. Yeah. Jake, though, shout out to him. He's got the Jets lone survivor on that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't trust the Jets at all anymore. Like,
me
I
neither.
don't care. It's Aaron Rodgers is playing worse than Zach Wilson did last year. So.
And Aaron Rodgers did say, like, he understands, like, when new regimes come in, you're not tied to that regime. The regime didn't sign you. They didn't draft you. So he understands that.
Yeah. I don't know what his contract looks like either.
I think he's got like a year, maybe 2 left.
Because this is year 2 for him, right?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if he signed an extension or not when he got traded.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to look at that. That's going to be an offseason. That's going to be definitely An off-season storyline to watch. That will be.
I think the offseason is going to be wild this year.
Look, this game
everybody.
right here, obviously very easy. The Saints, the Giants, and MetLife. Saints are 4.5-point favorites.
Yeah, the old Rizzlers got the boys fired up over here. I get Taysom Hill's gone, and it's a big part of their offense. But I mean, the Giants they're trying to tank at this point, from what it seems like.
Playing for Shador, Cam Ward.
Yeah, so Saints win. Saints are still in the division. They're still in the running, so they can still make it. So
Yes, Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the division hunt somehow.
Yeah.
Panthers are too. Panthers could still win at 8-9. So saw the way that they could do it. Yeah, Luke, I'm gonna keep it simple. Saints win this. They're a better team.
Easy bet. Don't trust Carr, but Carr's the better quarterback in this game.
Yeah. Luke, a sneaky game where the Panthers have been playing pretty feisty with Bryce Young since he's returned. They were on a 3-game winning streak that got snapped against the Bucs. They are traveling to the city of brotherly love against the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are 12.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I looked at the 12.5 and I'm like that. I think that's just a little too much. I mean, Panthers are playing feisty football. Bryce Young is playing well. I mean, and the defense. I mean, so this team still got some fight in them. I think 12.5 points is too much for me. I still think the Eagles win by like a touchdown.
I'm taking the bait here. I think the Eagles cover the spread. I think just too much offense from the Eagles. I think I can see Saquon Barkley having 200 scrimmage yards, and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, both of them should be playing this week. I can see them having maybe each 100 yards as well. I think the Eagles is just going to run the scoreboard up. I think this is going to be one of those kind of style, like show-me style points, and they just take care of business. And that's no disrespect towards the Panthers. Like I said, they've been playing good. But I just think the Eagles are just too loaded on offense and one of the best defenses too. So I'm going to go Eagles here to cover the spread. The Battle of the Pirates, Luke. The Raiders and the Bucs and the Bay, Tampa Bay. Bucs are 6.5-point favorites.
Yep, pissed off Baker coming in here. He's going to light it up. He's got to get what they have 5 games left, and Mike Evans needs like 400 more yards to get his 1,000-yard receiving. So
he needs to average like 85, 90 yards a game or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So he's like, got to feed Mike Evans the ball, keep the streak going. And the running game for the Bucs is Bucky Irvin is turning out to be a pretty solid running back. Now he's getting going. Then White out of the backfield, pass catching too. So I mean, this Bucs offense looks like it's been clicking for the most part, except last week they had a rough week, but
very rough.
They found a way to win.
They did find a way, Luke. And like you mentioned, Mike Evans. Mike Evans, I was listening to the commentating crew last week. Mike Evans is the only one on the offense that doesn't care about that streak. He just says, I just want to win. The other players, all other 10 players in the coaching staff, they want to get him that 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I care about it.
Yeah,
I just want to see him. Because he's tied for the most, right? So he'll break it this year.
I think he's either tied or one behind, but he's got the longest to start a career, though. So the thing was, Jerry Rice did it. But Jerry Rice didn't do it to start his career. Mike Evans has done this since year one. I think that's great.
That's and rotating quarterbacks.
Yeah, with I think what he had also Jameis Winston. I'm not sure if he had Josh Freeman or Mike Glennon. He had Mike
Fitzpatrick too.
Fitzpatrick for a little bit. He had. I know he had Mike Glennon, obviously Baker, Brady. I'm not sure if Josh Freeman was on I think Josh Freeman was more Vincent Jackson. I think Mike Glennon took over but yeah, regardless. And like you mentioned, Bucky Irving, shout out to the Oregon Ducks too. Bo Nixon and Bucky Irving coming out. Troy Franklin has yet to been really used that much in Denver. We'll probably see him more next year and going forward. But shout out to those Oregon Ducks. But Luke, I'm going the Bucks here to win by at least 7.
They got win big here.
Big Raiders fan. I'm rooting for the black and silver though. I am rooting for them, but I just don't see it. Look at kind of a snoozer game here. Don't know if it's Mac Jones or if it's Trevor Lawrence, but anyways, the Jaguars are heading to your neck of the woods, Nashville, to face Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans. Titans are 3.5-point favorites. Yeah,
I mean, nothing interesting here at all. So I could probably pick up cheap tickets for this game if I wanted to go, but do I really want to sit in the cold for 4 hours and watch this mess? So I mean, I think Titans win. They're at home. Mac Jones could make the game a little feisty, or Will Levis could make the game interesting too and throw some crazy interception. So I don't know. A toss-up game for me. I think they keep it close. Battle of the suck fest over here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Titans, Luke. They're just a better team. Jaguars suck. They're playing for the one pick, and that's all I got to say. Battle out west. Now, here we go. The Seattle Seahawks, the Arizona Cardinals.
Split.
Seahawks are up one game. Yeah, the Cardinals are 2.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a close game either way. Under a field goal, so I think somebody hits a walk-off field goal to win this game. Cardinals are at home, so kind of give them the advantage. Kyler Murray, I think, is the better quarterback, and both defenses are playing good football.
Yeah, they are. Surprisingly enough, the Cardinals are playing good football, and I think that this is a Cardinals game. I think that it's a James Conner game. More importantly, to beat the Seahawks, they have to do what they didn't do last time, and that's get James Conner involved. The leading rusher last time they played was Trey Benson with 18 rushing yards, so that's got to change, and it's going to give me the Cardinals, Luke. Give me the Redbirds out there in the desert to win by at least a field goal. The Buffalo Bills, Luke, coming off that snow win against the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles. Probably more Bills fans will be there. They are 3.5-point favorites in Los Angeles.
Yep, I don't think there's too much talk about this game. Bills are hot right now. I mean, this could be a sneaky game for the Bills to lose. I wouldn't be too surprised if they travel all the way to LA and drop this game, but on papers, they should not obviously lose. I mean, Josh Allen's been cooking. Offense playing pretty well. Defense plays good. And they get to play inside, so they get a nice climate to play in this week.
I think it will be a close game. I think it will be within a touchdown. I do respect Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and Kyron Williams. And Stafford, I've always liked Stafford. But like you said, the Bills shouldn't lose this game. Josh Allen is playing MVP as an MVP quarterback. Obviously, he's the betting favorite at the moment. What he's doing this year with limiting the turnovers down, only got 7 on the year, 27 total touchdowns. Actually, the only player this year to have receiving and a passing touchdown in the same play. So shout out to him for that. But, yeah, the Bills should win this game, honestly. And I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to go with Josh Allen here and James Cook playing good ball. And, yeah, give me the Bills. Why not?
Yeah. I'd like to see him lose it, but it's because it's fun.
Yeah, it's good to always poke at that. But, Luke, the Chicago Bears, Doc's team, the San Francisco 49ers, Jake's team, the Niners, 3.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah, the Niners they're just a mess this year. I mean, they got all these old players. They're always getting hurt. Old expensive players just getting hurt all the time. So, and Purdy's hurt. So I think the Bears are playing decent football. I mean, they can stay in these games, and I think this is a game that they can actually finish off before it comes down to the last drive. And the fired coach effect right here. I think the boys come out. Yeah, fired coach effect. I think these boys come fired up. I mean,
how about that?
They're trying to. They could be on the recruiting train for Shanny right here.
Yeah, it's true. I forgot about the fire head coach effect before I made my pick. I'm going to stick with my pick, though. I'm going to go with the Niners here. They're still playing for the playoffs. Now, the Bears can play spoiler, and they can beat these teams and knock them around the seeds a little bit. But Niners are still playing for playoff hopes, and I think they get a win here. Don't think the Niners make the playoffs, but I think they do sneak out a win against the Bears at home. I think a close game, though, but over 3.5 points. I'm going to go with the Niners. All right, Luke, Sunday Night Football. The Los Angeles Chargers, those Bolts against the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
This is one I thought I'd be all alone on.
Nope, I saw these picks flying in. 3.5-point favorites. I will say before you. So Alan sent me his picks first, so I saw the Chargers. Then you and Chris came in, and then Jake, and I'm like, man, I'm the only one the Chiefs. Doc called me before the show, right before, and I was like, man, if you would have picked the Chargers, I'd have been all alone. But Luke, go ahead and tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the game where they get it done against the Chiefs. I think they're going to walk into the trap and take over their trap. Chiefs obviously have not played great football all season. They played better recently, but I think old Harbs, gets these boys fired up. This defense is playing a lot better. Derwin James is back this week. Ladd and Herbert, they're clicking. The only thing to really missing is JK for this Los Angeles offense. But I think they can get it done this time. Herbert's playing clean football. He's not turning it over. He's making nice plays down the field to Ladd. Hopefully Quentin Johnson, can catch some footballs this week because he's going to be in my starting lineup for fantasy just because of just the way the buys worked out. So I need him to make some nice catches. 2 touchdowns from him would be great.
Well, great. You are playing for you could potentially win the 1 seed. Actually, I don't know. Redraft, I'm not sure because right now I'm the 1, but you, Wade, and and another guy are all tied for the 2. So
Yeah. So we need a good week from him.
Luke, I'm going to pick the Chiefs. Like I said, December is when they turn it around. They decide to hit that on switch, and Mahomes doesn't look back usually, and I'm going to stick with it. I think it's a close game. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not betting against the Chiefs right now. Not against the Chargers. The Chargers have to show me they can beat a good team to make me want to bet on them. So until they do that, I'm picking the Chiefs.
Should be a good game. Watch the Chargers play in the cold.
It will be exciting to watch. Sunday night will be very fun. After the
It
playoff,
should be a good
right
game.
after the rankings too. We know what the playoff rankings are going to be for college, and we go right into this. So it's a good flex. Monday night though, Luke, the Bengals, the Cowboys. The only reason why it's Monday night is because they couldn't change it because of the Simpsons. So the Bengals are 4.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I mean, this is not really an interesting game at all either. Both teams are, I would say they're pretty much both out of the playoffs at this point. The Bengals would have to go on a crazy run if they want to make it, because I think they could only get to 9 wins at this point, right?
Yeah, they're at 8 losses, so they can be 9-8.
Yeah, so I mean, they're gonna go on a crazy run. I just think this Bengals offense gets it done on the Cowboys. I mean, Cowboys got their backup quarterback, Cooper Rush, playing, so I think the Bengals defense can hold them under 33 points.
Yeah, that's the
goal.
goal.
Defense could hold them under 33 points, and the Bengals might get their 33-point offensive win.
I think Joe Burrow and Chase and T. Higgins, they're due for a big game, Luke. I'm picking the Bengals to win this game pretty easily. And I think that those 3 guys go off. I'm going to go the Bengals here.
I would like to see
Dallas.
them lose this game just for Hard Knocks reasons. It's great watching a sad Joe Burrow on Hard Knocks.
It would also be good too for you if he sucks, because then you can rub it in Chris's face and whatnot.
Yeah, like, this guy fucking sucks. I mean,
this guy's
obviously
bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is the prime example of what happens when you sell off your defense just to pay your offensive players. This is what happens.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you score points, but other teams are gonna score on you too, and they sold off pretty much all their good players except like one.
It's unfortunate for him. I mean, they're obviously one of the better offenses in football, but the team is not winning. So the team is not
poverty
good.
franchise. Their owner's fucking cheap. Cheap ass owner, and guess what? Stringing along his 2 top wide receivers too.
Yeah. Luke, are you ready to go over these quick? We're just going to do a quick rundown of the conference games, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to do the 5 because most likely the Mountain West will get in, even if Army wins the AAC. The winner of UNLV's higher. So if they win, they're going to respect the over the Boise game. See, normally it's a mutual game too, or it's a neutral site. It's at Boise State. UNLV, Boise State, because of the Group 5, they don't have a stadium that they go to. It's played at the winner. You know, back when AAC 2, it's played at Army this week. Luke, who's winning this game? Is it going to be the Broncos or is it going to be UNLV?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be Boise State. I think Genty's going to try to have a big game to solidify, try to lock up the Heisman race, because I think this is the last game that counts towards Heisman, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think they're going to feed Genty. I mean, obviously they've done it all season and seems to work. I mean, they've only lost the 1 game to Oregon.
At Oregon by less than a touchdown.
Yeah, so I mean, I think they get it done. Now I'm sure they're going to come out blue uniforms on the blue field. It's going to be tough for UNLV to see.
I hate that.
And if UNLV loses, I mean, it could be a potential head coaching hire for UCF.
I will say congrats to UNLV for making it this far with the quarterback situation that occurred, right?
Where that was crazy. Like, what, week 3 or 4?
Yeah, they're undefeated too.
Yeah, just bailed out.
Because something happened. But no, look, I agree with you. Boise State wins this, and because they're already number 10, the 8 and the Big 12 is probably not going to catch them. Even if Clemson wins, they'll be at least the 4th, the worst case, potentially the 3 if Clemson wins. I think Boise gets a first-round bye. Still not a fan of that bye rule. I've been looking more into it. I think that I'm okay with the top 5 conferences getting in. I'm just not a fan of them necessarily being a lock for a bye week. You know what I mean? The top 4. But I think Boise
adjustments to the playoff styles here
over a couple of years. Yeah, over a couple of years, I'll probably do some tweaking. But yeah, I have Boise State win this game. This is Friday night, Luke, by the way. I believe it's on Fox. So it's going to be a big game here. for Boise State. Like you said, Genty playing for the Heisman. He had an extra game. I think he's going to need a big game to win it. I think Travis Hunter's going to win the Heisman at the moment. It would take Genty like maybe 300 or 400 yards rushing to win this. To win that award.
Travis Hunter's like the flashy pick, the big name. I mean, worked with coach, played for Deion's team. I think Travis Hunter's going to win it just because like how voting's going to go. But Genty was the top running back. So, I mean, he's going to be a hell of a NFL player. He's probably, I'd say probably top 15 pick-ish.
He might be number 1 if it's the Jaguars.
Genty, you think so?
Oh, no, Genty, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Hunter. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Genty,
Hunter, I think is probably top 5 pick.
Yeah, okay, Genty, yeah. I think Genty falls in the top 15, top 20.
Yeah, top 15 is where I think Genty will go. Obviously be the first running back off the board.
Probably the only one in the first round, too.
Yeah, I think the rest come either second or third round.
Yeah, Friday night.
Somebody's going to get a steal with RJ Harvey.
Yeah, I saw like he was like I was looking at some mock draft simulators and he wasn't even in like the top 3 like rounds of people's like boards. I'm like, man, that's crazy. He's like the second or third leading rusher for running backs this year. It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
he is the UCF offense.
He was our whole offense.
Yeah, he's the whole offense. I'll give the RJ Harvey that. He's playing good. I don't know how he wasn't on there. Luke, Saturday, though, at noon in Dallas, it will be a 10 o'clock field game for the Arizona State Sun Devils. They, in their first year, by the way, all 4 Power 4 conferences, a new team versus an old team in the conference championship game. The Iowa State Cyclones, first ever 10-win season, they are in Dallas as they play the Arizona State Sun Devils. The winner of this is in for the Big 12, the only team that can get in. Luke, who's winning this game?
Yeah, I mean, I just like the way Arizona State's been playing recently. Well, what's their coach's name?
Oh,
I can't remember his name, but he's
feisty. Fiery boy. Yeah, he's a fiery little boy.
Yeah, he's fiery, especially after that one game where they put 1 second back on the clock. That was wild. But I like the way they've been playing. They've been playing good football.
Kenny Dillingham. He's 34 years old too. Young boy.
Yeah, young. He's fiery. So I like the way they've been playing. I think they show up this game, early game for them.
It's a noon game.
But Iowa State, I mean, they've been kind of up and down all season. They've lost some that they shouldn't have. So, I mean, in Arizona State, they got hot at the right time.
Yeah, they did. I know Arizona State lost to Texas Tech and Cincinnati. And then since that Cincinnati game, they've been on a streak, right? They've blown out Oklahoma State, squeaked by UCF, then beat down Kansas State.
I got lucky.
That exciting game against BYU, and then rivalry weekend against Arizona. They won. Luke, Iowa State, they kind of started off hot and then kind of fell back to earth and then kind of got back going again. And it's just I don't know which Iowa State I'm going to get there. With Arizona State, we've seen the consistency. They're exciting. They're fun. They're flashy.
Sweet ass uniforms too.
Sweet uniform. Defense is playing good too. Offense is playing good. I'm gonna go Arizona State here. I think that the new team in the Big 12. I can't believe the Big 12 was letting a Pac-12 team, former Pac-12 team, come in and win the division. Man, you guys are really like making me. This is disgusting to say I was part of that conference at one point. We gave y'all the keys to the kingdom, and y'all are letting the
that's what Texas is doing. That's what Texas is doing in the SEC. I mean, and Pac-12 is taking over the Big Ten too.
Yeah, but that's the best. That Oregon's respectable still. They were a respectable team coming in. Arizona State had the second to worst odds to win this conference before the season.
Yeah, I think they were like second to last in the rankings.
So expectations go out the window now whenever I hear expectations because Arizona State showed expectations doesn't mean shit. They have their own, but
nobody knew what Kenny Dillingham was going to do.
Yeah, no one. I said the other day, I wish we were kind of in the Big 12 still because I feel like we've been 12-0 and we would easily be first round bye. I feel like.
Nah, y'all would have dropped one game.
I don't think it's these teams. I think we would have been fine. But hey, shout out to Arizona State though, coming in year 1 and they're in the conference championship. That's good stuff. That's how you get recruits. That's how you make a name for yourself. Luke, 8:00 Saturday night. In Charlotte, North Carolina. We say Georgia's second home is Atlanta. Honestly, Clemson's second home is Charlotte, North Carolina, and Bank of America Stadium. They are going to SMU. Clemson needs to win this game. They have the same thing with the Big 12. They lose, they're out. They play the SMU Mustangs. First year, by the way, in the Big 12 from the AAC, right, is where they're coming from?
Yeah, they come from the American. So I don't know how the hey, the ACC is going to let the American team come in there and win too.
Yeah, that's embarrassing too.
And this is, I mean, I've been saying it all season. Everybody's sleeping on SMU. I had them as the dark horse to win. I mean, they got that oil money down there. Oh, the billionaires' kids go to SMU. I went to a game up there before. I watched some Smoke ECF, which is a sad 2-hour drive back home for me. But I like SMU. Sweet uniforms, high-powered offense, defense playing really good this season for them. But I'd love to see SMU win this game, but I think Clemson probably gets it done. I think Clemson just loves to spoil Alabama seasons, and I think they've spoiled Alabama again this year.
Well, we're going to talk about that too. That's the last, because I asked Doc this last night. I want to get your opinion as well. Luke, I'm with you there, man. Like, Dabo's already said it. They were the first ever 15-0 team. Why can't they be I don't think they're going to be here, but why can't they be the first ever 3-loss team to win the national championship? I don't think they go that far, but I do agree with Dabo. It starts now for them. Hey, last week they lost South Carolina. A good South Carolina team, by the way. South Carolina's playing good football. But SMU, man, I know they played BYU, but outside BYU, they have not played anyone remotely close to Clemson's level. And I still think Clemson's a respectable 9-3 team. I think Clemson wins this game, man. I really do. And the question is, how much do they win by, and how much does that impact the playoff committee, which we're going to talk about after we do these predictions with Alabama and SMU. Unfortunate, but I have Clemson winning this game, Luke.
Yeah, I think Clemson does win it. I'd love to see SMU win it. That's who I'm cheering for, just because I'd like to see them do it. Yeah, I like SMU. Very, very nice people at their campus too. I mean, I was not really harassed there one bit. It's great environment. They had a good time. And, whole Bible school, but
Bible school. Yeah. Luke, a rematch. 4:00, Atlanta, Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs, the Texas Longhorns. We know what happened in the middle of October last time. Only time these two teams faced. It was 30-15, and it was a blowout. It was not a good game. I think it was 23-0 at one point. Sarge Keaton's come out and said that Arch might get some formations like he did last week against A&M. Some short situations. Quinn Ewers, unfortunately, had a bad game. I felt like the offensive line was just terrible in general for both quarterbacks, as both played last game. Luke, it's a rematch.
Yeah.
Who wins?
I mean, so Texas is traveling to Georgia's second home in Atlanta. So, I mean, this is going to be – I don't know. I really have this as like a toss-up game because Texas really hasn't played anybody like that good recently. I mean, they played A&M, but that's about it. So, I mean, Georgia has been the toughest team they've played all season, and they beat them. Well, Georgia beat Texas. So, I think it really depends on how the Georgia offense plays. I mean, they seem like they've been hit and miss like week to week. Like some weeks they show up and they ball out. Then other weeks, what's his name? Quarterback.
Beck.
Yeah, Carson Beck. He'll throw 3 picks in a game. So, I mean, obviously can't do that this week.
I feel like Georgia's gotten – I honestly feel like Georgia's gotten worse since the win against Texas too.
Yeah, I mean, they've fallen off a little bit. I mean, they almost lost to Georgia Tech last week. They fucking went to 8 overtimes with them.
We were there. We were at the bar for that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was a wild game. I wish Georgia Tech would have pulled that off. But
and me too.
I was giving old Tim the eye emojis during the game.
Yeah, I haven't texted Tim saying we meet again. Probably wish him good luck on Saturday. But Luke, the difference this game is, can Texas learn from what happened? Obviously, the saying is you normally learn more when you lose than you win. The trenches was the key. The O-line and the D-line. Well, our defense wasn't bad, honestly. Our defense actually was really good. Our O-line was just pitiful. That was the worst game Banks had. A future first-round pick this year for offensive tackle. The run game couldn't get going. And Wisner, by the way, has been killing it for the Longhorns the last few weeks. Quinn Ewers, okay, he's playing with a bum ankle. Before the bum ankle, he looked good. I think he's healthier now. I think he's going to be fine. The question is, can he just limit the turnovers? If we limit the turnovers, we win this game. We play clean football. I believe we will get to the Georgia offense. We will get to Beck. It's all on Quinn.
I mean, Georgia does have a really, really good defense. So, I mean, that's going to be the real matchup is the Texas offense against the Georgia defense.
Yep. Round 2. Luke, you know where I'm going. I'm going hook 'em horns. We will hopefully be a 1 or 2 seed, depends on what happens to Oregon and Penn State. we will be hopefully no worse than a 2 seed, and we'll get a first round bye. Georgia stays in most likely with the loss because they're not going to probably punish them like they might do SMU, which would be weird, but they won't punish Georgia. I'm going hook 'em horns, man. It's just the way it goes. I'm not betting against my team here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna ride with Georgia on this game. I think Georgia gets it done again. They're basically at home. They played plenty of games over there in Atlanta. So
Texas will travel though.
yeah, but Georgia's already there. They don't have to travel.
Yeah, they don't have to travel that far. But Texas has that money. I was actually talking to a guy, a worker on base here. One of the suites they rented out for a Texas company, $40,000 for the suite.
Damn.
Yeah. So crazy prices.
I gotta ask him if he's gonna go to the game. I know he was looking at tickets.
Cheapest ticket was $355. Cheapest ticket yesterday was $355 for nosebleeds.
Yeah, he was looking at tickets a few weeks ago. I don't know if he ever bought them or not. Like once he found out Georgia was in the championship game, he was looking at seats.
Should have bought them then.
Well, I don't know if he bought them or not. I haven't asked him. I know he's looking though.
Luke, speaking of cheap tickets, because this next game, $15 for nosebleeds. Penn State, Oregon, and in Indianapolis, Indiana. Oregon, first year in the conference, and here they are in the Big Ten Championship, Luke. Penn State got in because Ohio State lost to Michigan. Can the Penn State Nittany Lions pull off this upset?
I don't think so. I think this was like the best case scenario for Oregon is for Michigan to upset Ohio State, because I think Ohio State probably would have got it done against them in the second round.
I think so too.
I mean, it's close last time, but I think Oregon, too much offense. Their defense plays good. Dylan Gabriel's not going to make the big mistakes to let this game get away from him. He's going to play clean football pretty much throughout the game, and I think Oregon's just going to coast off into victory with this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Ducks win this game, and then the question is, how far does Penn State fall if they lose? Because they are 11-2 at the time now, and then Ohio State's 10-2. They did lose to Ohio State. Does that one win extra matter more? Where happens to the Irish? Would they still stay above the Irish? They're 11-1, so that's an interesting spot that the committee would have to be. Wouldn't be the worst case for a committee because they have other things to worry about, but that would be like one of the easiest decisions that people aren't going to get that mad about. But yeah, I think the Ducks come in here, Luke. They go 13-0, and then they ride into the playoffs, and we'll see what happens from there. Honestly, I think the Ducks are just too loaded.
Yeah, they're going to have some sweet ass uniforms on this week too.
Speaking of the Ducks, too, shout out to them, man. They got some big recruits. They flipped the quarterback. They flipped the cornerback.
They ain't going anywhere.
No, Dan Lanning's got the boys playing. Luke, the question now, we revisit this. I asked Doc last night. I'm going to ask you first, what do you think the committee does?
What they do or what I think they should do?
What do you think that they will do? So let's say SMU, obviously if it's a blowout to Clemson, SMU's probably out. But let's say that it's like a one-score game. Let's say Clemson wins 21 or 24-17. Does SMU, do you think the committee would keep SMU in, or do you think they would keep Alabama in?
I think they should keep SMU in it. I think it's going to set a bad precedence for them, the conference loser, to be kicked out, even though they have less losses still than Alabama will. I think it's a bad precedence to kick out the conference loser, because I've seen a lot of people say SMU should just not play this game and they'll make the playoffs. But so if they play this game and lose, you're going to just kick them out. Do
you think
I
the
think it's
committee
wrong?
will
I don't know. I think the committee is going to favor fucking Alabama because it's Alabama.
Yep.
I don't think they should. I mean, it's kind of what they did last year with Florida State and Alabama. The same thing.
It came down to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the wrong answer last year too. I mean, they're going to punish a team because their quarterback got hurt. That doesn't make sense. No other league does that.
Ohio State, like I said, the initial playoff for the four-man, Ohio State was on their third-string quarterback, and they won the championship.
Yeah. So you're going to – and FSU is undefeated the whole season. What else could they do?
13.
They lost their quarterback. I think that was the wrong answer last year, and I hope the committee gets it right this year. And if SMU loses in a close game to Clemson, I hope they still get in.
And it will – you thought the ACC president was pissed that Miami fell out last week or this week? You wait for the ACC president this week if SMU barely loses and they kick them out, because it will also set the precedence that we already know the committee, the AP poll, the BCS era, they favored the SEC. I will be the first to admit it. They've always favored the SEC, and I'm new to the SEC. I'm not sitting here like I don't have that true loyalty like Chris does and Jake does about it just means more and blah, 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 all that crap. I'm new to the conference, but I will tell you, realistically, they've always favored the SEC. And if they pick Alabama over SMU, that just shows it. It solidifies that the ACC and the Big 12 does not matter if you're not a one-loss or undefeated team. That's just what it shows.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably be pissed if they put Alabama in.
I mean, I thought Ole Miss should have been over Alabama anyways. If you actually break down, and I liked what Lane Kiffin did, if you actually break down the resumes of Alabama and Ole Miss, I thought Ole Miss had a better season than Alabama. I get they lost to Kentucky, but they lost by one score. Vanderbilt, I get respectable win now because of the record, but Vanderbilt came in and won at Vandy, and Oklahoma blew them out. So I thought Ole Miss should have got in. And they both played South Carolina, and Ole Miss blew out South Carolina.
Yeah, so
it is what it is.
They like seeing Alabama in the playoffs because they're making more money.
Yep, that money talks, man.
Yeah,
and it just means more.
It just means more. It means more to the fucking committee's pockets.
If SMU wins, though, Alabama's in.
Yeah, because Clemson won't be in, obviously.
The question, though, is
I think it's the worst case scenario is Clemson winning for the committee.
The real question is if let's say that SMU wins, or because I don't think they're going to do it. I was going to say, let's say if Georgia and SMU loses, would they push Georgia out for Alabama? Since they're 10-3, Alabama's 9-3. They did beat them.
I don't think they'd push out Georgia instead of Bama.
So they're in regardless.
Yeah, I think Georgia's in regardless. I mean, that's the same thing. They're setting the wrong precedence for the conference loser. Trying to get kicked all the way out, even though they're ranked in the top 12.
Yeah, the only conference, unfortunately, Luke, I agree with being kicked out if that's a conference loser, is the Big 12 because they're too far back already, and then Clemson because they're obviously too far back as well. Those two conference losers can't. They don't.
Well, yeah. None of them, they're not ranked in that. The second place person is not ranked in the top 12 in either of the conferences. Big 12 is not. None of them are ranked in the top 12. So
no,
one of them's going to make it.
So we'll make it.
It makes sense.
And this will be the precedence that they set, Luke, like you said. How this year will determine how it goes going forward, and it's going to come down. I'm telling you that Sunday night, all day Sunday, people are going to talk, and they're going to sit here and they're going to say why it should be this and why it should be that, and then someone's going to bitch on Monday morning.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying it before the season started. There's going to be some teams that are pissed off. That's the way it is. Even though there's more teams in, there's just more teams to be pissed off that they didn't get in.
Yeah, so we'll find out, Luke. Saturday is going to be intense. Friday night starts with the Mountain West and the AAC, and, of course, the Power Four on Saturday, Luke. The Detroit Lions, Packers tomorrow. We have football, some good football all week. I can't wait to do it, man. Better buckle up. It's going to be a crazy weekend.
I know, nice chill week for me. I don't have to watch either of my teams lose, so it's great.
Only get the stress about fantasy where you're going to be at because you're playing for playoff spot and redraft. Dynasty. I play you in Dynasty. You're clinched in redraft already.
Yep. So I mean, just chilling. I mean, I can't control the players, so I just put them in. Hope they do their best.
I'm the 1 seed in Dynasty already. That's been locked up. I'm probably have a bye week. I think it's pretty much certain I have a bye week in redraft. Just depends if I'm the 1 or 2. Good year for me. Good year for me. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Right.
But Luke, we're gonna be in the chats probably tomorrow night, and then of course Saturday. I look forward to being back here Tuesday to see what the committee did and to talk about the committee's decision. It obviously, if SMU wins, it's an easy scenario. The only thing you have to do is pick how far Texas and Georgia go, and when whenever loses, and then Oregon and Penn State. That's all you got to pick is where they fall down to, and that's the least of the headaches. I might bitch if we're below Ohio State. but we're still in. We're in the playoffs. But if Texas or Georgia, if Texas loses, I don't think, and Oregon definitely. Texas and Oregon loses, they better not fall below Ohio State. That precedent was set when they only dropped 4 spots against Michigan. If Oregon and Texas, one of them, if they both lose, Ohio State needs to be farther down because that precedent is set. That what you just did with Michigan beating them. So respectable losses to Georgia and Penn State, honestly, not Michigan.
Yeah.
By the way, Quinn Ewers is the only player in the 2021 Ohio State recruiting class to beat Michigan in his career. Just did it with Texas, not Michigan or Ohio State. So
Yeah.
But Luke, can't wait to be back here Tuesday, man, and can't wait to watch football all weekend and be glued to the couch and glued to the TV. So
hopefully hopefully UCF can find a coach before then. But if not, we'll just keep following the recruiting rankings.
Yeah, Scott Frost and Lincoln Riley have been seeing the rumors, huh?
Yeah. Oh, Dan Mullen called UCF too.
He was on the Pat McAfee show today.
Yeah, I watched his interview. I don't know if he was going to mention it or not, but apparently he called UCF inquiring about the job.
Pat's trying to recruit him for.
I don't know if it's real, but
Pat tried recruiting for West Virginia. He also tried recruiting Bill Belichick too.
Yeah, I saw him trying to get Bill. He's trying to get
Bill there. Bill didn't say no.
Yeah, I mean neither did
Dan Mullins.
Yeah.
But no, Luke, can't wait to be back here, like I said, Tuesday to talk about all of it and see what's going on. I hope you have a great weekend, man, and we'll be back here Tuesday night. Hopefully everyone has a good weekend. I'm Mark Davis. That's Luke Rule. This is All About the Balls podcast. We'll see y'all later. Have a good night.